Let me start with this. Prime got the kickstand down in Boulder, Colorado. We need to talk about why that is, why that is true, and why we still going to talk about it. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because we do segments on this show every single day. And when we do the live show, it's pretty on and popping, right? But I wanted to get on here and talk about one of my favorite subjects, one of your favorite subjects, if we being frank about how folks watch the show, Colorado. And more importantly, Coach Prime at Colorado, because ain't nobody care about no Colorado before Coach Prime got to Colorado, because it's Coach Prime effect at Colorado, just as Coach Prime effect at Jackson State. And it would be been the Coach Prime effect for the Dallas Cowboys or for the Florida State Seminoles or whomever you would like to see him coach that he ain't currently coaching right now. There are those that would like to see a return to Jackson State. I don't know the first thing about what to tell you about that, except that there's a lot of things that might happen in this world. Aliens invaded. Your man's dressing up in his favorite Halloween hat and going out there to punch gods on behalf of the King's Fall raid and be the Baron that they want me to be in this destiny where they got me drinking these potions that don't make no sense, but we be shooting people and we be saving the world. It's likely. It's more likely than I think him going back to Jackson State. However, the reason we are here is because, once again, Prime was asked, hey, look, it seems that there has been a full court press of the Nolan Richardson kind, of the Arkansas 40 Minutes of Hell kind, to try to get you to leave Boulder, Colorado to come down to coach the Dallas Cowboys. And this was before Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, where Jerry Jones got on there and was talking about, the facility and whatnot, and Michael Irvin was on Instagram Live on Netflix, because that's what we be doing now. And then was saying, I'm going to ask Jerry Jones what it's going to take to get Prime out here and what Prime would need to get to go out there, because Michael Irvin, like the rest of us, is a long-suffering Dallas Cowboys fan, and he would like to see the Dallas Cowboys not be sorry. And this conversation comes back into vogue because, frankly, Dallas Cowboys was out there on Monday night, and the Dallas Cowboys was sorry on Monday night in front of the Houston Texans, where this sea of red invaded AT&T Stadium and made our block their block. My God. Turned our hood into their hood. There's a whole lot of disrespect going on and around the different various parts of the world. But there is a universal disrespect that comes with, I'm about to make your house my house. I'm about to take my shoes off in your living room, and I'm about to be Charlie Murphy on your couch, and I'm going to be in your kitchen cooking your food, saying hi to your woman. Nah, that's what happened with the Texans showed up to this place where Jerry Jones don't want to put no curtains and want to get his feelings about some curtains on this, really cool living room television that they got that would be reflecting everything else. I'm even going to say this, man. I've been out to AT&T Stadium more times than I would like to count, if I'm being honest, between all the different Big 12 venues and Big 12 championship game, Dallas Cowboys game, Texas high school football playoffs. It's a marvel. It's fun. The best seat in the house is watching that damn Jumbotron, dog. Like that big ass screen. Like that's what it is. I don't want to be I don't want to be there in no other way unless I get to watch the thing on television, because I'm going to want to know what the replay is saying, because you can't get no live replay. You know what I'm saying? When you at the game. What does this have to do with Prime? Well, Prime has turned Colorado from a 4-8 program into an 8-2 program. 2 wins away from 10 wins. First time that they would have 10 wins since 2016. And their first ever berth to the college football playoff and a Big 12 championship. First conference championship that they would have won since leaving the Big 12. And even then, we can make an argument, first conference championship game they'd be playing in since they left the Big 12. We can make an argument about whether or not this program is as good as, the one that Rashawn Salon led, the one that Cordell Stewart led, the one that Eric Bieniemy led in the early 90s that won a national championship. I don't think it's there yet, but it's getting close. And that's kind of the point, right? Wherever he's been able to go, he's been able to make it happen. And at the Dallas Cowboys, feels like, hey, we would let you draft Shador. We would let you draft Travis. We would let you do whatever you got to do, except that's not what would happen, right? Y'all know like I know. Jerry Jones ain't never had a black head coach. They probably will at some point, I'm sure, but it just ain't happened. And Jerry Jones like to call all the shots at Dallas Cowboys, and that's just not what Prime is about. Prime need to be calling shots everywhere he's going. That's why Rick George is going hey, I cleared the runway for this man to do what he needs to do to get us back to relevancy and then some. Like, the identity that they have is built very much around Prime's image, and I think that's the way it would have to be anywhere he goes. Like, that's how it's going to have to work. And the thing that college football allows for head coaches that it just doesn't allow in the NFL is for you to be the dude in charge. Like, we got an athletic director, we got a president, but you make more than him, and you make more than him. You make more than both of those dudes combined. Everywhere you go where football is important, the most important employee at Ohio State University is Ryan Day. Full stop. The most important employee at Colorado is Deion Sanders, despite what some of y'all who ain't into the whole football thing got to say about it. Tad Foote thought that he was in charge in Miami when Jimmy Johnson was down there. Turned out that wasn't the case at all, dog. It's Jimmy Johnson's program down there. You can't do that with Dallas Cowboys. Can't do that in the NFL, but damn sure can't do that with Dallas Cowboys because Jerry Jones, well, he's been Jerry Jones my entire life, and I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan my entire life, and he engineered the trade to get Deion Sanders over here, don't you know? He was the reason that Jimmy Johnson was allowed to draft the playmaker to, my God, man, don't let me go down this memory lane because it's hurtful. That 89 draft and being able to fleece the Minnesota Vikings for washed up Herschel Walker. Whew, give me that. Give me Charles Haley and all them damn rings he got, dog. Like, that's what I want. So, no, it's not going to happen. And Prime is doing Colorado fans, new ones, old ones, Prime ones, a solid by just going out here going, nah, I got the kickstand down on the bike. I like where I'm at. I love this place. We're in a very good spot. Why would I leave? This leads me to my observation that, frankly, I got into when I started doing talk radio. Like, damn, was it really 7 years ago? Yeah. 2019, I got my first solo radio show locally. 97.1 Sports Animal, shout out. The RJ Young Show, 9 to 11, Monday through Friday. Talking a lot of college football, almost exclusively. Some Thunder, some NFL, but you know what time it is. It's a lot like this show. And I was learning how to do this gig, watching, frankly, my heroes do the gig, right? Bomani Jones, Nick Wright, Colin Cowherd, Jim Rome. I can keep going down the line, right? Especially if you ain't have a deep Rolodex, like a deep guest book. You need to be able to be smart. You need to be able to be entertaining. You need to be able to make it fly. You need to be able to come up with angles and topics that keep people interested, that also have them forgetting to ask, hey, where'd you play? Nowhere. Where did Colin Cowherd play? Nowhere. And if that's how you want to assign who you're going to listen to, there's nothing I can do to dissuade you of that. I am going to say, I love this stuff, and I be talking about it no matter what. Ryan Russillo, another great dude that I enjoy listening to, that I learned how to crib this from. But Nick Wright used to say, and I've found this to be totally true, especially when you do this job. I have three kinds of takes. I have takes that are 100% right on the money at the time. I have takes that are right given time. More time is right, more I will be right. And then I have takes that are comically wrong given time. Had my fair share of those. The problem with being able to say that a coach is going to be at said place for as long as he's going to be is also you're right until you're wrong, right? Or you're wrong until you're right. So there is nothing to say other than, yeah, Prime said he's going to be at Colorado till such a time as he is not. And you're going, well, that time might never come. Well, if that time never comes, then it never comes. It's fine. And by that time, if we're talking about the time that never comes, we're not going to be talking about that day that he said he put the kickstand down on November 19th after the Dallas Cowboys got embarrassed by the Houston Texans. That's not what's going to happen. It's going to happen after winning conference championships, national championships. It's going to happen when his name is even bigger, if you can imagine, than it could be now, because right now is the time for us to be talking Colorado football if there was ever not a time to be talking about Colorado football, especially given the track record that they have shown themselves capable of. And Travis Hunter's doing something that we've never seen in the sport before. Deion Sanders is one of the most productive quarterbacks in the sport. They all got stuff to say. They all hold their receipts. They all make their press conferences stuff where we want to talk about what is being said. And they had themselves become synonymous with, one of the first families of football. Like, talk about the Mannings, you're going to talk about Sanders. That's what you're going to do. And we love our dynasties. We love our familial dynasties. So I'm inclined to be, wrong on this on the front end, right? When I say, I don't know he's going to be at Colorado forever, but until such time as he leaves, that's what it is, right? I'm not going to sit out here and predict that he's going to go nowhere. I am going to say that he got into coaching because he wanted to get to Florida State, because that's a fact. He called Mickey and he said, hey, coach, how do I get to Florida State? And he gave him a blueprint. right? It's like, hey, do these other things. Go get some experience other places. Be a head coach. Jackson State gave him the opportunity to be a head coach. Colorado's giving him the opportunity to be a head coach at the Power 4. The nice thing about picking up experience, though, is that your goals change given the experience, right? That's true for me, too. Like, I got into this because I was able to talk into my phone and edit in iMovie. And, you know, y'all talk about the goalpost moving. You move them yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go, oh, I could do that? Let me see what I can do. Let me see what else I can do. Let's see if I can get it done right here. Let's see if I can do it now. I think it is a lot like having the opportunity to move to New York, having the opportunity to move to Atlanta, have the opportunity to move to LA and do some version of what I'm doing right now. You know, I think that's his Colorado. It's like, I like being from Tulsa. I like doing my job here. I like that I've been able to do this. Let's see how far I can take this. Let's see if I can win a national championship being based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a flyover state to many, but, you know, my home, right? Man, my home, you know. I get that part, right? Because when you get into this stuff as a kiddo, as a wet behind the ears journalist, the only thing you're thinking about is getting to ESPN, it's getting to Fox, it's getting to wherever it is that's doing the cool work that you want to do. And as you get to define what success might look like, you change, right? So I've taken to adapting 500 fights. I love knockaround guys. I'm that kind of dude. If you've been watching the show long enough, you get it. But I'm going to explain it to some of y'all who don't know. Vin Diesel has a character who introduces himself at a barroom fight by saying 500. 500 what? 500 fights. That's how many fights I thought it took as a kid to be a bona fide tough guy, to be just that dude. You didn't have to win them all. You just had to get into 500 fights. And he realized that along the way, it stops being about winning the fights or even the fights. This is who you are now. And in the becoming of who you are now and the callousing over of some of the trials and tribulations that you could not have foreseen, or maybe you did, they just found you anyway, you become somebody different with different ideas and different meanings, and you grow up. Like, that man got a beard now. He didn't start out with a beard, you know what I'm saying? He is very, very close to being a granddaddy a couple times over, you know? He has been through so much in his life, and his life has been so full. And now his life is about his boys, his daughter, his grandbaby, and then growing the rest of the young men around him up into somebody that they can be. Maybe that changes down the line. Maybe it does. I'm dead serious about that. It could change. And for you to say that it won't, he'll never leave Colorado when he's doing this well, okay, cool. We all know that everybody get fired. We all know that when it ain't going your way, it's not always in your control whether or not you get to keep your job. Maybe it won't be up to him. But right now, as it's up to him, he is choosing to stay in Boulder. And I felt that was worth talking about. And I felt that was worth sharing a personal story about. I know I do that quite often on this show, but that's the sauce. Like, that's how we do this. That's who we are. If you like the show, subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Deuces.